Hey friends, I am so excited to see you in today's training. I simply cannot wait to dive in. My name is Sarah Mae Ives. I am a Wall Street Journal best-selling author, as well as an eight-figure business owner and coach who has helped many million-dollar coaches. So let's dive straight in because I quite simply cannot wait to share this content with you. I've been mulling over this idea for months and months, if not years. Okay. So let's dive straight in. Whoops, not skip ahead 15 slides. Okay, perfect. So welcome to the training. As I've already mentioned, I have been in this space a while. That's revealing my age a little bit, way before AI even came on to the scene. So I am quite shocked after reviewing dozens and dozens of coaching businesses this year alone. I am quite worried that AI is causing coaches who want to grow and help people be more creative, do their thing from wherever they want while getting paid well, are using AI in the wrong way. And what is happening is they are losing three precious commodities that I'm going to share with you in their business, okay? And this is causing them to lose clients, money, and authority. So this is not a presentation that is just gonna trash talk AI. I understand that we can't go backwards, okay? We're using AI, that's just part of what we're doing. But I'll make a compelling case with evidence on how it should be used wisely so that you can rapidly grow and expand your coaching empire that you dream of, okay? And that is more than possible, if not even more possible in today's day and age because the increasing AI, slant on everything, the kind of robotization, is that even a word? Of the world that we live in. It's leaving us regular humans just craving regular humans, okay? All right. So let's dive into my thesis, all right? You can tell me if you think I'm wrong, but I like to say too, the stuff I share with you, the stuff I share as a coach is not just my preferences or opinions. This is based on lots of math and facts behind the scenes from being in the space for a really long time and seeing a lot of different things behind the scenes. So what a time it is to be alive, right? Looking back at all of human history, one thing stays constant, and that is as humans, we need connections, we need each other, we have very strong needs for belief, for God, for surviving and procreating and really loving each other. These are core things that are not changing, even despite the fact that we have just lived through one of the most rapid times of change. There are few times in history that things have changed so rapidly. Maybe the Industrial Revolution is an example of one, but for most of human history, in the history of the world, things have been remarkably similar, right? Survival, procreation, banding together. Okay, so even though cities have grown, getting food has been easier and we're eating it from the comfort of our own homes, um, the needs of humans have stayed remarkably similar. The campfire, sitting around the metaphorical campfire, connecting with each other. Okay, now the internet has obviously come onto the scene over the last 20 years, and this made information practically free overnight. I exaggerate just a little bit. Now, AI makes all the free information on the internet look a little bit archaic because now we don't even have to Google something anymore and surf through a bunch of forums or anything. We just go onto our AI chatbot and it's like our little personal concierge, right? And on top of that, AI is flattering. It remembers everything about us. You don't just say to it, like, where should I eat dinner when I go on my trip to Seattle next weekend? It will give you back recommendations based on your food preferences. Oh, I remember you like fish and you like eating vegetarian, so here you go. So the level of personalization that AI has brought to our lives is simply staggering, right? Now, the problem that I see in the business space, and again, this is based on reviewing dozens and dozens of businesses just this year alone. AI is everywhere, right? And coaches and businesses are leaning on it for a lot. And it's appealing because when we look at AI and we look at the writing, we say, hey, write this for me in a catchy way. And the writing sounds better. The research, the speed with which the AI chatbot can give us research is incredible. AI can now build websites. It can build proposals. It can create stories and scripts for our YouTube videos. But here's the thing. I'm going to break down what you should and shouldn't use as a coach because coaches are disproportionately affected with this heavy reliance on AI. Okay. So, for a quick second, before I built a coaching company that's generated over $15 million USD and counting, I work behind the scenes as well, right? I got my start actually behind the scenes, engineering and helping $1 million coaches engineer their $1 million launches. Okay. And this was way before AI did any of the heavy lifting. Okay. So 2 decades in the business space, close to 2 decades, I should say. And if you count the fact that my family were entrepreneurs before the time that entrepreneurship was trendy, you could almost say my whole life. So the clients that I've had the good fortune of working with, you might have even seen them on Oprah, Good Morning America, Today Show, NBC, Forbes, ABC, all these fancy places, right? I feel so lucky and thankful for all the people, all the clients so far that have trusted me. And I have learned so much from them. They have also learned so much from me. And I have taught hundreds of people how to start highly profitable businesses. And this is something that I love to do. So it's just a marriage made in heaven. I love talking business. And then I'm always grateful for the people that want my help. And so I step into this place from a sense of passion and purpose and a deep place of service, okay? Now, here's the thing. My parents, my grandparents were in business, like I said, before it was trendy. And back in those days, getting into the business space was nothing short of difficult, right? And a lot of families without education trended towards entrepreneurship because in the case of my dad, he felt like he couldn't do anything else. He didn't have the money for an education. So he got into entrepreneurship almost because he had no other choice. And at that time, it was difficult. You had to put a lot on the line. If you're going to open up a restaurant, you had to pay for all the chairs and the tables and all the ketchup and hiring staff and managing people. So entrepreneurship was something that because I grew up around it, I didn't want to do it. I was like, that's not for me. Then 20 years ago, I started to see people like Marie Forleo and all the early online business people talking about how you could quite literally take your information, your passion for helping people, and your laptop and make a business. And so I knew right away I needed to jump on that. I am entrepreneurial by heart. And so when you step into a coaching business, when I started to make the really big dollars as a coach, my life changed in ways that it's quite impossible to explain. Okay, these are just some of the photos of all the places I've been able to take my family. I like to say I've bought a lot of expensive things and that wears off really quickly. One of the beautiful parts about when your coaching business starts to do really well and you start really collecting money, you will know that buying experience far outbeats or beats buying experiences is so much better than things because these experiences impact your kids for a lifetime. They shape who they are. They teach them things about their personality. Okay. So overall, coaching is just an exceptional business. It's even better than most, if not all, of the businesses in the online space because unlike the marketing agency, and I love marketing agencies and I've taught many people how to do it, I've owned a marketing agency myself, but the deliverables, the client to deliverable ratio is so much more higher. So the profit margins are lower. Nothing beats a coaching business, okay? And I know that's why you are here. So you too believe in the power of a coaching business. Maybe you've already taken the courses, you've completed the content, you've gotten a website, an offer, you've gone all in, and you're here today because you're wondering what the heck is missing. Especially in this AI age, I thought AI would help me out, write my offers, do this, do that, and you're still waiting for success, and you're growing impatient. If you're anything like me, I remember giving myself a deadline of about 9 months to quit my job, and I remember a year in, I'm like, what gives? Why is this taking so long? I so badly wanted to get out of the office, okay? And before I actually stepped in the coaching space, I got my master's degree and I was actually teaching people at the hospital. I was coaching them on how to lower the risk of heart disease. So coaching is something that even before business, I still did. So here's the thing. It's not just you. Okay, I have reviewed dozens and dozens of struggling coaching businesses just this year alone. Okay, they are all committing with the exact same in the exact same way, the same mistakes. And that's why I made this presentation. I am simply shocked and staggered at how many people are unknowingly doing these things that are holding their coaching business back. Now I'm going to use Tamara. She's one person that came to me and I reviewed her business with a really in-depth assessment, okay? Now Tamara was a woman who wanted to have, who has, actually I shouldn't say wanted to have, she has a coaching business that help moms reclaim their health, their vitality, get their hormones in the right place, okay? And Tamara fell into the trap of thinking that she could just have AI help her with everything, okay? So Tamara had a website put together. It said what she did. It didn't really say her why, okay? It didn't even have a picture of herself. You could clearly tell that AI had created all the writing, if not the entire website. It had even put in placeholder photos. I followed over to her Instagram, her Facebook, looked at her socials, and I didn't get a sense of who Tamara was. I could barely get a glimpse of her face, in fact, okay? And so it's not just Tamara, by the way. I have seen this happen repeatedly, okay? People like Lily, Monica, James, Pamela, businesses that I have reviewed, okay? I could go on and on. Okay, so what's the problem? You probably already have an idea, but I'm going to take us back to the Bible, okay? Thousands of years ago, because I love the Bible, and I want to remind you of one of the most incredible people in history, Moses, okay? Of course you remember Moses. Moses was up on Mount Sinai talking to God, receiving the 10 Commandments. He came down and saw his people, the very people who he knew, these people knew he was talking to God, and who had just experienced all of the miracles of the 10 plagues, and they were down there worshiping the golden calf. And so what did Moses do? He smashed the tablets, drawing the attention of everybody. The party was over, okay? So what the heck does Moses from the Bible have to do with your coaching business? Well, Moses pulled off the first pattern interrupt. Now, if you've been in the coaching space for any amount of time, you will know and see that interrupting the pattern, interrupting the scroll, basically grabbing someone's attention with something different is such a vital and important part of marketing, period, okay? So in marketing, a pattern interrupt is a way of getting people's attention because it's different. Now, that's always half the battle in business. It always has been, even before the internet. And so the argument I want to make is when you're getting AI to write everything, create your website, create your stories, just create you, your personality is missing. And that's a problem because personality is your pattern interrupt as a coach. Okay? So when coach after coach comes to me with a story crafted by AI, and yes, this applies even if you read your AI chatbot the prompts, because of course we can say, well, you know this happened to me, and you know this happened to me, and then it pumps out something, but it still gives it the AI gloss over, right? It's completely lacking your personality. It's taking your unique stories, passions, talents, experiences, and it's putting it through the AI filter. Okay, removing the uniqueness of you, making you sound like everything else. And yes, this is even if Claude can, in theory, be trained on your catchphrases. We still know it's Claude, okay? So you might be wondering, well, what's even the problem with this, right? It removes the essence of you. Now, personality, in case you didn't notice, is the new world order. Donald Trump, if you love him or hate him, he's pure personality, and he's changed the world with it. Elon Musk, again, love him or hate him, he is the personality driving his businesses, okay? These two gentlemen are not lacking personality. People know that the tweets that they're tweeting in the middle of the night are not written by an AI chatbot, okay? And this is necessary for a few different reasons, and I'm going to share this with you in just a sec. The main reason is when we catch a scent of something being written by AI, we immediately check out. We're like, oh, it's AI, it's AI. Even my teenager, I have teenagers in the home, many of them. And it's almost like an ongoing thing where it's like, if you want to know if a video is AI, you just ask the teenager in the house, is this AI? And they're like, yeah, it is. So AI is undervalued. And so why? I believe it's because as humans, We're deeply socialized to recognize real patterns and fakeness and people that are fake people, even just fake people in general. They don't have to be like AI people, even just people that appear to be fake or not sharing their real life with you. Maybe they make everything sound perfect. These are not typically people that we like to surround ourselves with because we want authenticity. We want real people, people that can talk about the good times and also talk about the hard times. Because as humans, we grow closer through sharing the challenges of life, right? So that's kind of my theory on why we check out so fast when we know it's written by AI. And there's been many people in the last year and a half that I have seen an email from them. I know it's written by AI just because of those special little catchphrases, and I immediately unsubscribe. I don't want something written by a robot, okay? And here's the other reason why it's so important. So when you lead with your personality, when you realize that your personality is your pattern interrupt, you will see how the algorithms, the AI generated, the AI driven algorithms, I should say, on all of these social platforms are actually driven and they reward personality. So your personality, including your opinions, your experiences, are actually what build your audience online. And this works for social platforms and also advertising as well. See, I have run ads for many, many coaches, and the coaches that we could always help were the coaches with personalities, and they weren't afraid to stand up for what they believe. This doesn't mean that you're ruffling people's feathers just because you feel like being a pain in the butt. No, this is sharing who you really are. Okay, so the coaches that did the absolute best and always do the absolute best are those that lead with the personality and who they are. Okay, your personality is truly your unfair advantage because in the coaching space, there is no unique business idea. There are already a million coaches doing what you want to do. There's already a million coaches doing what I want to do. And some of them are more experienced. Some of them are cheaper than you. And here's the thing, when you lead with your personality, when you see that it's your pattern interrupt, you're not going to be copyable. People can't copy that. People are going to want to work with you no matter what. They're going to feel like working with anyone else is settling because you get them. You've been through it. Okay, so people, of course, they don't buy coaching. They buy the person that they want to spend the time with, the person that they want to be close to, the person that they want to be like, the person that understands what they're going through. Okay, so this is how, even as a brand new coach, you can make a huge impact. Okay. So the top mistake, going back to recap, thinking that AI can be your personality, thinking that it can create a great story for you. It erodes trust, authenticity, and removes your value. Now you might be thinking, oh, I'm very, very clever, and I told my AI bot this and that. I still have my doubts because people know right away. Okay. Scott Olford, one of my clients, an incredible storyteller. He is a master storyteller. We worked with him on many $1 million launches. Okay. And what does Scott do? He has opinions. He has feelings about things. He shares them. He shares his insights, his frameworks. The $1 million coaches like Scott do exactly that. They do not hide behind AI. They do not outsource their personality. Okay. So I have put together because I want to kind of kick it old school. I want to go back to the campfire days metaphorically. And so this is my campfire, $1 million coach campfire. Okay. The first log is personality. Your personality is your pattern interrupt, is the thing that makes people stop and look up from their screen to see you. This is how you get the attention in the world of a million coaches. And it's because we like following real people. Now, are some people going to hate you? Yes. Some people hate me because I put myself out there. I've given my opinion on things. And that's okay because I have faith. I have faith that I'm meant to do this. I know God has me here for a reason. And even though some people hate me, I don't care because enough people like me and love what I'm doing. Okay, and that's all that matters. So your personality starts the metaphorical business fire. Okay, so going back to Tamara, what was the second mistake she made? Well, I can only explain this with 1-star Amazon book reviews, and it's going to make sense in a second. We've all bought books on Amazon, and we know that there's usually a lot of good reviews, and then there's always 1 or 2 or 3 or more 1- and 2-star reviews, okay? So Coaches are going to AI and they're asking it to describe their ideal client, okay? So as a coach, I'm assuming if you're here today, you already know that you need an avatar. You already know that you need to understand your client. You need to understand what they're going through, what kind of day they have, what kind of day they want. These are all very basic coaching business exercises. Figure out your ideal avatar, figure out the problem that you solve, figure out the transformation that your client wants, and talk about it. And here's the thing. Coaches are going to AI and they're asking AI to do all the heavy lifting of their avatar, of the transformation, of the program. The problem is when we use AI personally, AI knows so much about us. Our little chatbot, whatever app we're using, knows a lot about us and it remembers us. But when we feed it questions or when we give it questions about who we're serving in business, it doesn't have the same level of precision. And so AI will put together a very hollow sketch of the type of avatar, of the type of business or the service that you're offering, and it uses the same words that all the other coaches are using, okay? And so with these AI generated customer avatars, transformations, and stories, you're literally putting together a hollow business. It's a business that appeals to everyone and yet no one at the same time. And if you're on either sides of those, if you're appealing to everyone or appealing to no one is going to buy from you because you need to stake a claim on a specific land, right, in business. Okay. So AI just can't know your customers as well as it knows you. So your belief that it's going to be as accurate as it is with you making recommendations for restaurants in Seattle for vegetarians, it's not going to be able to do that. Okay, it's a composite of all the stuff in the world. So what's the alternative? Well, this is where I go back to the Amazon book 1 and 2 star reviews. So back in the days, which these days is only like 3 to 4 years ago, we would have a business and we would actually talk to real people. We would do real exercises. You all took those business programs that said, call up 3 people that you think could benefit from your services and talk to them. Or another thing, go to a community potluck, go to a meetup locally for business owners, join a Facebook group that has a bunch of people struggling with a thing that you help with. And there were so many different ways that you could do research. One of my favorite ones was go on Amazon and look at a book in the niche of what you're coaching on and read the 1 and 2 star reviews so that you can see the exact language that people are using to complain about your competitors. Because when you can see the language and the exact way people are expressing their frustrations, you have absolute clarity on exactly how people are speaking and talking about their struggles. And this is going to give you the type of clarity that will make it possible for you to be an exceptionally successful coach. Okay, so this is that deep level of detail that will give you relevancy with your customer. So it's not just enough to be there with your personality. That's step number 1. But step number 2 is to speak in a relevant way, to have relevant content. Okay, because without having your pulse on the exact way that your client is experiencing their life and expressing their problems, you will never create relevant content. Okay, so your content, your unique philosophies, your frameworks and your beliefs, your signature methods are the exact way that you're going to keep people engaged and making your content feel relevant to them. Okay, Monique is a wonderful example of this. Monique has so much content that speaks directly to the people she is helping. She helps women get involved in real estate and create passive income through investing in real estate. And she has had many successful launches with me where she used these materials exactly. She is a master of writing content that is highly relevant with her unique methodology. And that creates people that stay, people that watch, and people that buy. So your ideal client, your signature method, your relevancy is a deep human that express a deep human understanding of who you are here to help. That's the second log on the fire. Okay, we've got personality and relevancy. Okay, so this is know who is sitting around the fire. Okay, so back to Tamara. Her program consisted of videos, and you could pay for a call with Tamara. So there was a place to go there and put in my credit card details to talk to Tamara, but there was no way to get to know her first. I didn't even know what she looked like. That's why I have the face kind of blurred out. Modules, cheat sheets, workbooks. She clearly had those listed all over her website. But I put in brackets here, who cares? Because we didn't even know who she was, so we couldn't even figure out if she was a personality worth paying attention to, and she certainly didn't have any relevant content. Okay, so we couldn't really connect with her, and therefore we just don't know. And so that's the problem when you rely on AI or very general research. Okay, that's a problem. Okay, now I'm going to get into the third thing that Tamara did wrong and that many, many coaches today are doing wrong. The good news is it's easily fixable. Okay, so side note, what do 30 people flying to Vancouver Island have to do with your coaching income? So last year, 30 people, 30 dear souls who I had the absolute pleasure of meeting, flew from across the world to spend time with me on Vancouver Island, okay? Every single person at this business retreat, at my business retreat, left almost floating. We were all so excited, so jazzed up. We were just on fire with motivation. And here's the thing, what did we really do? Well, we just enjoyed each other's company. We shared our hearts, our visions, our dreams, our hopes. We sat around the metaphorical campfire together. Actually, let me show you. I even did a recap video. Okay, just kind of showing, connecting. Look at us, we're talking, we're eating, we're living, we're tasting. Okay, and this is the connections that AI can't give us, right? So talking to each other, even as nerve-wracking as it is, I know I'm an introvert by heart. And sometimes socializing stresses me out. But the funny thing is, 9 times out of 10, when I socialize, I feel like a completely different person. Okay, so even if you're annoyed at the fact that you need to socialize, that's what it is. We even here all went out to cold dip in the Pacific Ocean. I think this was February. We were all extremely brave and it was so much fun, okay? We listened to each other. We shared tears at certain points. We had so much laughter. And yes, we had great presentations. That was a sauna, by the way, too. I got a sauna. It was so much fun, okay? So really, you have to imagine that it wasn't the content that changed them or the strategy or the frameworks. And now, these were honestly awesome. We had some incredible presenters, but it was the feeling of being surrounded by other humans going through a similar journey, okay? It was being in a room with people that got it, okay? It was the campfire, okay? And that's something that AI cannot replace. Recorded video cannot replace. Now, this doesn't mean you have to do in-person events. That's not what I mean. What I'm asking you to do is to consider how can you bring components into your coaching program that AI can't complete, okay? So this is looking beyond just recording your videos and having a Facebook group that nobody visits. This is something that people will experience. So experiencing each other, okay? So engineer your entire coaching business around the deeply human needs that we've all had since the beginning of time. Connection, belonging, a mentor who's lived it, and treating each and every person who purchases from you like the special person that they are. Every single purchase that I get in my coaching business gets emailed to me. I look at that person's name and I close my eyes and I say a little prayer of gratitude. And I know that sounds crazy to you, or maybe it doesn't sound crazy to you. I actually hope it doesn't. But it's something that I do because I'm deeply grateful for each and every person who comes into my orbit. Okay, there's nothing wrong with in the beginning too, when you have the time, sending a personalized email to every single person who purchases from you or expresses interest in what you do. This deep level of personalization is so, so important. Okay, so I am getting back to the third part of the campfire that is so important, and that's community. Okay, we need our programs built around connection, community, and mentorship. And this is real, owning the fact that we are real human beings. We're not one-sided perfect holograms. In fact, I would way prefer to work with a mentor who has a deep commitment to the truth and growth and evolution in who they are as a person, meaning that they've had good times and bad times, business successes and business failures. And so when you're able to communicate the humanity of you and the person that you're helping, and help this person through community and sharing with others, that's where we're really incorporating human intelligence, or HI, into our systems and our programs. And that's transformational. That's life-changing. Okay, so tomorrow, this is her face reveal generated by AI, ironically. You see, you can use AI in your business, just not for everything. So you want to engineer your business around what AI won't be, okay? AI can write a caption, but it certainly can't sit across from someone and change their life or ask them a question in real time. AI can generate a script, but it's never cried. It's never lost a child. It's never had a failed business. It's never been heartbroken. There are so many things that we're forgetting, so much of value we have as human beings, okay? And so when you engineer your offers, your coaching services in this way, you're not just hard to compete with. For the people that are following you, for your followers, your audience, they want to work with you over anyone else. And that makes you untouchable. That means people can't copy you and AI can't replace you. So when we get this wrong, it really costs us a lot, okay? Wasted time, missed impact, lost income, burnout and frustration. You'll give up before you are meant to. Staying invisible, okay? So it costs a lot when we're not putting these pieces together. When you get this right, the potential is immense. And I know you already know this. That's exactly why you're here. That's exactly why you want to have this coaching empire where you get to make great money and also help people be creative, portable. The average high-ticket client is thousands of dollars, not hundreds. The average coach who gets this right only needs 5 to 7 sales a month to hit $250,000 a year. Now, if you're not able to nail these core components, though, you won't get there. Okay, so Tatiana is an example of an incredible $1 million coach who has had multiple $1 million campaigns, and I've had the pleasure of helping Tatiana. And what does Tatiana have figured out? She has a strong element of human intelligence in all of her marketing, her business, her story, the people that she helps, and how she helps them. Okay, so when you nail this stuff, it can work extremely well. Okay, so like I said, 5 to 7 sales a month, it's $250,000 a year. You only needed about 10 or 11 sales to hit over 500 million a year. And then 15 to 17 sales is the math on the number of sales you need to make per month to hit $1 million run rate as a coach. So when you break it down like this, you can see how simple it really is. Now, simple doesn't mean easy. I also happen to believe that anything worth doing is hard, but it's straightforward. You can see the path to get there, okay? And if you're stuck in a place where you're letting AI do everything for you, I highly doubt you'll ever get there, okay? And so just other incredible clients that we have helped get there, Scott, Megan, a coach for women needing confidence and then building their confidence through live shows. And then Benaya, she is a permanent makeup artist. And then she also trains other people on how to start their own permanent makeup businesses. Okay. So to get there, you need to put the HI element in there, the human intelligence, having real conversations with real people, talking to people while you're selling and before you're selling them, developing your frameworks, your methods, giving your thoughts and wisdoms about life, telling stories that are true, specific, and yours, showing up live, letting people see the real you, just like me on this video. I make mistakes. I just keep moving forward. Hosting trainings where people can ask you questions, get real answers. You could do this online or in person. Building relationships through real communication, okay? Not just on automated sequences. Sure, we all want some automated sequences, but we still want to communicate. We want to talk, we want to write, present, connect, and keep going, okay? So how do you pull this all together? The fast route, of course, there's a slow route, there always is, but the fast route is what I'm going to share with you today because you don't want to DIY this. You want to get help, okay? So number one, stop asking a robot for advice, okay? You're likely here because you're already using AI and want to remind you that a robot has never launched an offer and heard crickets. A robot has never had an angry client at 11 p.m. on a Sunday. A robot has never cried over a business decision or had a business failure that they never thought they were going to make it out of. There are so many things that robots just can't give us good guidance on. And sure, AI is great for making a lot of suggestions, but have you ever asked AI for feedback on what do I say to this person in my family who's pushing past my boundaries and I want to give them a good response for how to let them know that I can't do something. How many times does AI give you a response that you're just like, yeah, no, I could not say that to the person. They're going to get so offended. And meanwhile, AI thinks it's a great response. It doesn't have the human touch, the human element, the human intelligence. The second part is surround yourself with the right people and the right community. Okay, so the community we surround ourselves with normalizes what we can expect. I remember as a kid, I wanted to be a doctor. Now, my dad, he was someone who was an entrepreneur, and he said to me, Sarah, you're not smart enough to be a doctor. I think you should go to school and be a teacher. And I was like, okay, Dad, I'll do that. And he loved me. That's why he wanted to push me in the right direction. And so all this to say, I didn't want to do that. I went to school, got a master's degree, stayed in school for as long as I possibly could so I didn't have to go out into the real world. And then I started working in a hospital with doctors. And once I surrounded myself with doctors, I started to realize I could have totally done this. I even remember one of my bosses, Claire, saying to me, Sarah, you could have totally been a doctor. It's clinical. You just study it in a book and you remember it. And I'm thinking, right, but my dad didn't know that because we weren't surrounded by that when I needed it. So you have a deeply human need to connect and you can normalize, oh my gosh, my screen just changed to dark. I guess it's the time. And so the people we surround ourselves with quite literally affect what we think we can accomplish. Okay. And then three, I want you to work with a mentor that you fundamentally enjoy, not someone who's absolutely perfect and never had any business failures, but real people who are dedicated to making their experiences to learn from their experiences, people that have been through hard times and good times. I remember there was a time where I used to say on sales calls, I've never had any bad reviews. And I used to think at the time that that just made me a perfect business owner. The truth is, that was my first year of business. Once you start moving and shaking and making lots of money, by default, you will always get people that don't like what you're doing, okay? And so part of my growth journey as an entrepreneur has been really looking at how can I actually take the people that are not happy with me and using that feedback, those comments to make my programs better than ever. And that's a fundamental philosophy that I teach to everybody I work with because it's not enough to work with a mentor who has just had things go well for them. It's watching them go through the hard times. Even when we're looking on Google reviews, I remember I was looking up a doctor for Botox, I think, and I remember looking at a clinic and seeing that in the Google reviews, the assistant, who was actually the wife of the doctor I could see, had actually gone on to every single bad review and she left a nasty remark. And I'm like, no, that's not what good business owners do. They go and they say, thank you for taking the time to let me know. Can you please contact us so we can make it better? Okay, we are sorry you had that experience. That's the type of business people you want to work with and learn from. Okay, so I am not advocating for getting advice from perfect people, perfect robots. What's more important is, are they dedicated to growing? Okay, so an invitation to the perfect solution based on these three things, coincidentally. So of course I'm biased, but I want you to consider joining my community campfire for coaches who want to make a massive impact in the world, with coaches who want to work on the fundamentals of bringing human intelligence to their business. And this includes not just awesome coaches that you will grow with, but mentorship from me, 8-figure coach and mentor. I always forget to say I've also had a Wall Street Journal bestseller, and I'm not sure if I mentioned that today. Maybe I did. Okay. Here's the thing, you're human too. You need your own campfire. As much as you want to build a campfire for other people, for your clients, you need to belong to a business campfire. You're only human and your needs are your needs. Okay? So it's not just a program, but a community. You do get bonus programs, which I'm going to tell you about in just a second. We meet weekly. Okay? We meet every single Tuesday at noon PST. The calls are also recorded so you can watch them anytime you want. You will be surrounded by other coaches who are serious about growing their business too, okay? This will be a place for you to be accountable, show up every day, talk to people, make friends, and bounce your ideas off of me and the others. Okay, you also get 4 bonus programs when you join. Number 1 is my personality is your pattern interrupt training. Okay, so I'm going to go even deeper on exactly what makes you magnetic and how to share it, learning to use your story, your opinions, and your realness to get attention fast. And then you're going to know how to show up as your authentic self. yourself, okay? So you can attract the right people into your business, okay? Bonus program number 2, your people are your profit, okay? So this is diving deeper on who are the people sitting around your campfire, okay? How do you get inside their minds? How do you develop your signature methods based on what they're struggling with? And this training is going to help you walk away with a really clear picture of who you serve and why they would choose you over anyone else. Okay, the third program is my campfire method. I'm going to show you how to build your services around AI and the things that AI can't replace. Okay, how to structure your coaching around real human connection so your clients never want to leave, and how to walk away with a delivery model that makes you untouchable, irreplaceable. Okay, this stuff is my bread and butter. This is what I've done way before AI ever came onto the market. Okay. The bonus program number 4 is my $1 Million Coach Communication Lab. We are going back to basics, back to the timeless art of speaking, storytelling, recording videos, leading rooms. I'm going to show you how to coach with confidence, how to lead people through a session or a Zoom call, and walk away with a communication skills that will serve your coaching business and honestly just make you a better communicator, period. And yes, this is even if you're an introvert, even if you're sensitive, okay? The investment for the first 10 people that join is going to be $97 a month. It's an absolute steal. You can cancel anytime. It's a monthly charge. You will not want to leave, would be my best guess, because you're going to absolutely love the calls and love the community. The first 10 people that join, you're also helping to shape this community too. What you're bringing to the space will help us develop and grow together, okay? So this is more than a business program. This is a real community, a place for you to change based on my experience and working with many $1 million coaches and giving you the skills to be uncopyable. I don't even know if that's a word, and I'm sorry if it's not. And how I'm going to share with you too how you use AI, but just not in a way that takes away those 3 critical components of your $1 million coaching business. Okay? So if you love this training, great. I hope you can run with it, take the information I gave you, and let that guide your content, your decisions, how you show up to your business. Nailing this stuff is going to be a huge change in your business, okay? Now, if you want to work with me, I simply cannot wait to meet you. You will see a link below this video where you can join. All right. And thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for registering. And when you did register, by the way, I get an email notification. And again, I look at every single person's name and I say a little prayer of gratitude because I am so thankful that you are here in my orbit. And I only hope that I one day get to help you. And I cannot wait to see what you accomplish with your coaching business. Okay. All right. Talk soon. Gonna end the training.